I kicked my boyfriend's mom out after she insulted me. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. I'm standing in my doorway with Diane's suitcase in both hands, and my boyfriend looks like he might throw up. "Maya, please," Caleb whispers, palms out, like I'm the dangerous one. "Just let her cool off." Diane blinks at me with that perfect suburban smile, lipstick untouched, hair sprayed into obedience. "Sweetheart," she says, voice honey thick, "you're being dramatic." I can hear my own heartbeat over the vibrating buzz of my phone on the counter. It won't stop. New messages stack up faster than I can breathe. His aunt, his cousin, someone from his church I've met once. Diane is the kind of woman who gets applauded for bringing store-bought cookies to a bake sale. She's Diane the organizer, Diane the prayer chain captain, the face people trust at fundraisers. If she says I screamed at her, a whole suburb will picture it like a movie. I set the suitcase down, still blocking the door with my body. "You don't get to stay here after what you said." Caleb's eyes flick to his mom, then back to me. The indecision hurts more than I want to admit. Diane's smile tightens. "I didn't say anything untrue. I simply pointed out facts." Facts. Like my job is a punchline. Like my apartment is cute in the way people talk about a child's drawing. Like I'm a phase her son will outgrow. An hour ago, I was making coffee, thinking this weekend visit might finally be normal. Next weekend, we're supposed to be at her church hall for the engagement party she insisted on hosting, even though I never asked for one. She already has a seating chart, a guest list, and, apparently, a story ready to sell. Now I'm trying not to shake while I evict a woman who spent months treating me like lint on her designer coat. Caleb's phone lights up too, a missed call labeled MOM, again, and he looks at me with panic. If she leaves like this, she'll tell everyone. "Let her," I say, surprising myself with how steady it sounds. I'm done auditioning for basic respect. Diane leans in just enough that Caleb can't hear her breath. "You have no idea who you're picking a fight with." Then my phone buzzes with a message that makes my stomach drop. If you asked anyone who knows Diane, they'd call her warm. She hugs too long, laughs too loud, and remembers your dog's name. The first time I met her, I almost believed it. Caleb and I have been together 2 years. We meet at a friend's game night, and he wins me over with quiet kindness, bringing soup when I'm sick, fixing the wobbly cabinet in my rental without making me feel dumb. He's steady in a way I never had growing up. Diane is polished. Her house smells like lemon cleaner and money. She talks in compliments that come with hooks. "Oh, Maya, your hands are so small," she says once, holding my wrist like I'm an object. "Perfect for, what was it again?" "Teeth." "I'm a dental hygienist," I answer, smiling until my cheeks hurt. Right. Such honest work," she says, like she's handing me a participation ribbon. At first, I tell myself it's nerves. She's protective. I would be too. But the digs keep coming, always wrapped in sweetness. At dinner she asks, "So do you plan to go back to school for something bigger?" At a holiday party she leans toward a group of women and says, "Isn't it precious how some people can live on so little?" When I confront Caleb later, he rubs his face and says, "She's from a different world. Just ignore it." I try. I really try. I bring wine to her house, even though she never opens it. I laugh at jokes that aren't funny. I bite my tongue when she calls my apartment cozy, then asks if my landlord is strict. Once she even helpfully emails me a link to a blouse she says would look more professional at family events. The warning sign comes a month ago, when Caleb and I mention maybe getting engaged this year. Diane's smile freezes for a fraction of a second. That night, Caleb shows me a text from her. "You need to slow down. Some girls rush because they want security." I stare at the screen while my stomach goes cold, and Caleb says, softly, "She doesn't mean you." Last Tuesday, she texted Caleb one line that changed everything. The line Diane texts Caleb is simple. "I'm coming this weekend. We need to talk in person." No question mark. No asking if it works. Just a calendar block dropped on our lives. Caleb shows up at my place after work, jaw tight. "Her house is being treated for termites," he says. 2 nights. She asked if she can stay with us. With us? I repeat, staring at my tiny one-bedroom like it might suddenly grow a guest wing. "I told her it might be cramped," he says quickly. "She said she doesn't mind humble spaces." That phrase hits like a slap, and he doesn't even notice. I want to say no. I really do. But I picture the fallout. Caleb stuck in the middle, Diane painting me as the girlfriend who isolates him. So I compromise with myself. It's 2 nights. I can be gracious. I can be an adult. Diane arrives Friday evening with a rolling suitcase, a garment bag, and a tote labeled engagement party ideas. She kisses Caleb's cheek, then looks past him at me like she's inspecting a rental car. Oh good, she says. You keep it tidy. Within 10 minutes, she's wiping my counters with her own disinfecting wipes, rearranging my coffee mugs for flow, and asking where I keep my important documents. It's just a lease, I say when she opens the drawer where I keep it. Diane hums. You should read the guest policy. Some landlords get weird. Caleb laughs nervously. Mom, stop. I'm helping, she says, like that settles it. Saturday morning she's up before us, clanking in the kitchen. She's made eggs and placed them on plates like a performance. I used your nicer dishes, she announces. They're all the same, I say. She smiles. Oh, honey. No, they're not. I find my mail stacked neatly, face up, like she's sorted it. My stomach turns when I notice the envelope from my clinic, my schedule, on the top. Later, while Caleb showers, Diane sits at my table with her phone and a yellow legal pad, writing names. Who are these? I ask. Our guest list, she says brightly. I'm trimming people who won't match the vibe. My friends are on that list, I say. She taps her pen. Some of your coworkers too. I'm sure they're sweet, but this is a big moment for Caleb. On Saturday morning, I hear her whispering my name into her phone. I follow the whispering to my hallway, barefoot, heart thudding, and I stop short when I hear my name again, clear this time. She's nice enough, Diane says into her phone, voice low and practiced. But let's be honest, you and I both know he's dating down. I freeze behind the wall, the cheap paint suddenly feeling too thin. Yes, the dental thing. She continues, like my career is a stain. She cleans teeth. She'll always clean teeth. Caleb needs someone who can stand beside him, not behind a mask with suction tubes. My face burns so hot I swear she can feel it through the drywall. I step back into the bedroom before she can catch me. When Caleb comes out of the shower, towel around his waist, I'm sitting on the edge of the bed staring at my hands. You okay? He asks. Your mom's on the phone, I say, voice tight. Talking about me. He frowns. She does that. It's annoying, but... No, I cut in. Not like this. I don't tell him I heard the words dating down, because I don't want to see his face twist into excuses. Instead, I tell myself to get through breakfast. Brief. 2 nights. Diane makes a show of setting the table, like she's auditioning for a sitcom mom. I invited Sophie to stop by, she chirps. Family should be involved. Sophie is Caleb's older sister, the only one who's ever pulled me aside and said, quietly, she'll test you. Don't let her. When Sophie arrives, she gives me a quick hug and a look that says I'm not imagining it. Caleb is relieved to have a buffer. We sit with coffee. Diane opens her tote and slides out printed engagement party themes, as if she's running a corporate meeting. Sophie scans the pages. Did Maya ask for any of this? Diane laughs. Maya doesn't really know what's appropriate for these things. Caleb clears his throat. Mom. Oh, honey, Diane says, patting his hand. Then she turns to me with a bright smile that doesn't reach her eyes. It's nothing personal. It's just, you're sweet, Maya, but your support staff. This family doesn't marry support staff. The room goes silent in a way that feels physical. Sophie's coffee spoon clinks against the mug. I feel something inside me go perfectly, terrifyingly still. Then she looked me dead in the eye and doubled down. I set my mug down so carefully it doesn't make a sound. Say that again, I tell Diane. She tilts her head. Maya, don't be sensitive. I'm telling you how the world works. Sophie's eyes flick to Caleb. Are you hearing this? Caleb looks like he's trying to solve a math problem with no numbers. Mom, that's not okay. Diane laughs, a little sharper. I'm allowed to have standards for my son. And I'm allowed to have standards for my home, I say. My voice surprises me. Flat, calm, like I'm reading a policy at work. You need to pack your things and leave. For a second, Diane genuinely looks confused. Like the concept of consequences has never applied to her before. Excuse me, she says. I'm serious, I say. You don't get to insult me in my own kitchen and keep sleeping in my guest space. You're done here. Caleb steps between us. Maya, can we just talk? I am talking. I say, eyes locked on him now. And I'm not doing the keep the peace dance anymore. Diane's smile returns, but it's weaponized. Caleb, are you going to let her speak to me like this? Sophie stands up. Mom, stop. You crossed the line. Diane's gaze snaps to Sophie, then back to me. You're proving my point, she says softly. Look at you. Emotional, territorial. This is why women like you don't belong in our family. Something in me breaks cleanly, like a snapped rubber band. I walk to the hall closet, pull out her suitcase, and set it by the door. Pack. Now. Caleb follows me, voice cracking. Please, Maya. She'll apologize. Diane doesn't apologize. She starts gathering her things with slow, deliberate movements, like she's performing for an invisible audience. Before she leaves, she lifts her phone and takes a photo of my doorway. For my records, she says, smiling. She wheels her suitcase out like she's leaving a hotel she's dissatisfied with. At the threshold, she pauses and leans toward me. You just made yourself an enemy, she whispers. And I'm very good at making people believe me. 5 minutes after she left, my landlord's number flashed on my screen. I answer the landlord on the second ring, expecting a maintenance question. Maya, my landlord says, voice stiff. Did you have an incident today? My stomach drops. What do you mean? I received a complaint, he says. Someone claimed you had a guest you forcibly removed and that it got loud. They also asked whether you're subletting. I gripped the phone so hard my fingers hurt. I'm not subletting. I had a visitor who left. He sighs. Look, I don't want drama in the building. Just keep it quiet, okay? When I hang up, my hands shake. Diane didn't just leave, she fired the first shot. Caleb paces my living room like it's a cage. She shouldn't have called him, he says, but his voice is weak, like he's testing the sentence. She shouldn't have called anyone, I say. My phone keeps buzzing. Not just Caleb's family either. Names I barely recognize. People I met once at a barbecue. Maybe apologize so we can move on, one message reads. His mom was only trying to help, another says. Then the tone shifts. I heard you screamed at her. Are you always this unstable? Caleb deserves better than a girl who throws tantrums. I scroll, jaw clenched, watching my character get rewritten in real time. Caleb sits beside me and reaches for my hand. She told them you lost control. She said she felt unsafe. I stare at him. Do you believe that? He opens his mouth, closes it, then says, I believe you had a reason. That answer hurts in a way I can't explain. Sophie texts me privately. She's doing what she always does. Don't cave. Then a Facebook post pops up from Diane. No names, just a selfie with a Bible verse about gentleness and a caption. Pray for families facing hostility. The comments are full of heart emojis and, you're so strong, Diane. My cheeks burn with humiliation. She's turning my boundary into a public spectacle. I'm halfway to deleting every app when my best friend Tasha calls. Do not respond, she says immediately. Screenshot everything. I mean everything. Why? I ask. Because I just got added to a group chat I was never supposed to see, she says. Then Tasha forwarded me a screenshot that made my blood run cold. Tasha's screenshot shows a group chat titled Caleb's Future with 12 people in it. None of them me. Diane's messages are right there, time-stamped, written like she's directing a play. Everyone stay calm. She writes at 2:14 p.m. Maya had an episode. Caleb is shaken. Then, if we respond together, she can't twist this. At 2:18 p.m. Someone should call her landlord. That environment is not safe. At 2:21 p.m. And please, do not let her embarrass us at the engagement party. We may need to cancel. My stomach turns. It's not concern. It's strategy. Tasha doesn't even let me spiral. She opens a shared folder on her laptop and starts labeling files like we're building a case. Screenshot the landlord call log, she says. Save Diane's Facebook post. Any texts from random cousins, dump them in here. This is insane, I whisper. It's organized harassment with a smile, Tasha replies. Different font, same bully. I scroll farther down in the group chat. Diane writes, Caleb needs a wife who elevates him, not support staff who gets territorial. There it is again. Support staff. Like I'm a chair you can swap out. Sophie texts me another piece. A voicemail Diane left her last night. Sophie sends the audio with one line. She didn't mean for you to hear this. I play it, and Diane's voice fills my kitchen, soft and furious. She thinks she can throw me out, Diane says, "Fine. I'll remind her what happens when you disrespect me. Caleb will come home when she's done embarrassing herself." Tasha watches my face. "Okay," she says quietly. "So we have motive. We have coordination. Now we need impact." As if on cue, my email pings. It's from my building's management portal. Notice of complaint filed. My throat tightens. Diane didn't just try to hurt my feelings. She's trying to mess with my housing. Caleb calls again. "Mom is crying," he says. "She says she's willing to forgive you if you apologize publicly." I laugh once, sharp and humorless. "Publicly? For what?" "Protecting myself." He hesitates. "She says you attacked her character." I open my mouth to answer, but another email arrives. This one from work, subject line, "Quick check-in." Before I could answer, my clinic manager asked me into her office. My clinic manager shuts her office door and gestures for me to sit. Her tone is gentle, which somehow makes it worse. "We got a call this morning," she says. "A woman named Diane." My mouth goes dry. What did she say? She glances at her notes. "She said you were volatile and that she worries you might snap around patients. She implied you threatened her." I stare at her. "I work with scared kids all day. I've never had a complaint." "I know," she says quickly. "This felt personal. That's why I wanted to talk to you, not write you up." I pull out my phone and show her the screenshots, the group chat, the voicemail, the landlord complaint email. Her eyebrows rise higher with every swipe. "Okay," she says slowly. "This is not about professionalism. This is about control." She prints a short statement for my file, potential harassment from non-patient contact, and warns me that if Diane keeps calling, corporate will get involved. I leave with my pride intact, but my trust shaken. When I get home, Caleb is waiting outside my building like he's been pacing the sidewalk for hours. "How was work?" he asks, eyes wide. "She called my clinic," I say, not bothering with softness. His shoulders sag. "I told her not to." "You told her not to call my landlord too, right?" He flinches, and that tiny reaction answers me. We sit in my car because I can't let him into my apartment yet. "I need you to be honest," I say. "Has she done this before?" Caleb stares at the dashboard. "Not like this," he starts, then stops. "Sophie texts me. Ask him about his ex." I look back at Caleb. "You told me your last relationship ended because you grew apart." His eyes shut. For a long second, he looks like a kid bracing for punishment. "My mom hated her," he whispers. "And she did the same thing. Told people lies. Painted her as unstable. My ex left because she said if I couldn't protect her then, I never would." The words land like a weight on my chest, because I realize I'm replaying someone else's ending. Caleb's voice drops. "There's more," he says, "and I've been hiding it from you." Caleb finally confessed the thing he swore he'd never repeat. By Sunday afternoon, Diane's episode story has legs. Caleb's cousin sends a text. "If you're safe, blink twice." A woman from Diane's church I barely know messages me a hotline number. Not "Are you okay?" A hotline. Like I'm a threat. Then the vendors start. I get an email from a bakery I didn't contact. "Hi Maya, we've been informed you're no longer the point person." Attached is a revised invoice under Diane's name. I call the number, and the woman on the line sounds nervous. "Diane said you were overwhelmed," she says. "She said it's best if we work with her." My cheeks burn. It's not just reputation now. It's my life being managed out from under me. Tasha comes over with her laptop and a vengeance. "Okay," she says. "We document impact. We screenshot the bakery email, the landlord complaint notice, the Facebook post comments. I record the time and date in my notes app like I'm building a timeline for court." Caleb keeps calling. Every time I pick up, he sounds smaller. "She's telling everyone you shoved her," he says. "I didn't touch her." I snap. "I know," he says quickly. "I know. But she's saying it, and people believe her." Sophie texts. "Mom told a relative you're after the family money." I almost laugh. Family money? I'm paying off student loans and buying generic yogurt. That evening, my building manager emails again. "Second complaint received. Please adhere to community standards." My throat tightens. One more incident, and they can refuse to renew my lease. Diane knows that. I showed her the folder by accident when she went snooping. I stand in my kitchen, staring at the lock on my door like it's suddenly fragile. Tasha lowers her voice. "What if she comes back here?" "She wouldn't," I say, but I don't believe it. Because an hour later, Caleb texts. "She's driving by your place to check on me." I type back, "Don't let her." He replies, I'm trying. My phone rings from an unknown number. I answer, and a woman says, this is Diane's friend from the board. We need to talk about your behavior. I hang up with shaking hands, and that's when I hear it. Heavy footsteps in the hallway outside my apartment. At 11:47 p.m., someone started pounding on my door. I don't open the door. I stand with my back against it anyway, like my body alone can hold the line. Maya, Diane's voice slices through the wood. This is absurd. Open up. Caleb's voice follows, shaky. Babe, please. She's upset. I look through the peephole. Diane is in a long coat, hair perfect, eyes bright with anger. Caleb stands half a step behind her, hands twisting together. I pull my phone up and hit record. My thumb trembles, but the red dot steadies me. Diane. I call through the door, loud enough for the hallway. You are not welcome here. Leave. Oh my God, she says, voice suddenly theatrical. Caleb, she's locking me out like I'm a criminal. I'm asking you to go, I say. If you don't, I'm calling the building manager and the police non-emergency line. Her tone flips. I don't feel well, she says, pressing a hand to her chest. I think I'm having a panic attack. Caleb's face crumples. Maya, my stomach knots, but I don't move. If you need medical help, I'll call 911, I say. I'm not opening my door. There's a beat where Diane realizes her bluff has limits. Her hand drops. Her eyes harden. You hear that? She snaps loud. She'd rather watch me collapse than show compassion. Tasha texts me. Do not open. Keep recording. I call the non-emergency line anyway and put it on speaker. The dispatcher's calm voice fills my apartment as I explain there's an unwanted visitor refusing to leave. Diane hears it through the door and suddenly steps back. Fine, she says, loud enough for anyone nearby to hear. I hope you can live with yourself. Caleb mouths I'm sorry through the peephole, then guides her toward the stairs. The next morning, I read my lease 3 times and email my landlord. For my safety, I'm changing the locks and will provide a key. Then I do it. I also send a single message to Caleb and Diane in writing. No more unannounced visits. Stop contacting my landlord or workplace. All communication in writing only. Within an hour, Diane posts another smiling selfie. Sometimes cruelty wears a sweet face. Pray for my health. And because I'm still recording my reality like it matters, I zoom in on the video from last night. When Diane turned away, her phone screen lit up with my name again. I replay the hallway video and freeze on the moment Diane turns her body, thinking I can't see her screen. A notification flashes across her lock screen. Board group chat. Please stop contacting volunteers directly. Under it, another. Sophie. I'm bringing the emails to the meeting. My pulse kicks up. Diane's whole identity is community leader. If there's drama behind that curtain, it's the one place she can't afford light. I text Sophie, what meeting? What emails? She doesn't answer for an hour, which tells me everything. In the meantime, Tasha and I do what women do when we've been underestimated for too long. We research. We search Diane's name with the charity she's always bragged about, Northside Women's Outreach. Diane poses in photos at their gala every year, hand on her heart, eyes misty like she invented compassion. But buried in an old Facebook album is a caption from 3 years ago. Thank you to our volunteer coordinator, Sophie W. Sophie, Caleb's sister. Tasha raises an eyebrow. Wait, Diane always says she runs that charity. I click deeper. On the charities page, Diane's name is nowhere on the staff list. Not board chair, not director, not even committee member, just a donor. Sophie finally calls me, voice low. Don't tell Caleb yet, she says immediately. Why not? I ask. Because he'll try to fix it, she says. And this can't be fixed. She explains, in a rush, that she used to coordinate volunteers at Northside. Diane muscled her way in, started bossing teenagers around. And when Sophie pushed back, Diane ran to the board claiming Sophie was unstable and ungrateful. It got ugly, Sophie says. They asked Mom to step away quietly. She refused. She still shows up in photos and acts like she runs the place. I sit down hard on my couch. So she's done this to you too. Sophie laughs once, bitter. She does it to anyone who doesn't worship her. What are the emails? I ask. There's a pause. Proof, Sophie says. The kind she can't charm her way out of. Sophie's next message came with one attachment labeled, Do not show Caleb yet. I open Sophie's attachment on my couch with Tasha beside me, like we're about to watch a scary movie. It's a PDF chain of emails, headers, dates, signatures. Not rumors. Receipts. Subject line: Volunteer concerns, Diane R. The first email is from a board member to Diane. Please stop contacting team volunteers directly. All communication goes through the coordinator. The next is colder. Your tone has been reported as humiliating. This is a formal warning. Then the gut punch, an email to Sophie, months later, thanking her for handling the situation and confirming that Diane was asked to step away from events indefinitely. Indefinitely. Quietly, Diane was removed. Publicly, she kept showing up in photos like a saint. I scroll farther and find the piece that explains the obsession with my support staff status. Diane isn't just classist. She's terrified of anyone seeing her as ordinary. In one email, Diane complains that Sophie is trying to make me look small. Small. That word again, turned inward. Tasha whistles under her breath. So she can't stand not being in charge. Sophie texts. She takes credit for everything I do. Always has. I finally tell Caleb we need to talk, on my terms. We meet at a coffee shop, public, no private corners. I slide my phone across the table with the group chat screenshots and the voicemail transcript. His face goes gray. She called your work? Yes, I say. And my landlord. This isn't protective. It's a campaign. Caleb's hands shake as he scrolls. I'm sorry, he whispers. I didn't think she'd go this far. She already has, I say. So here's what happens next. You don't mediate. You witness. I tell him there are documents that explain why Diane is doing this, and that we're going to address it where she's been performing, at the engagement party planning meeting she insisted on. Tasha builds a clean timeline, dates, screenshots, audio file names. Sophie forwards the PDFs to a private folder. I ask the church hall coordinator, neutral, no gossip, to be present because there's been conflict around the event. Diane texts me that night. So glad you're ready to be reasonable. As the church hall doors opened, Diane walked in carrying her guest list. The church hall feels suddenly too bright, and Diane acts like she owns the air. There she is, she trills, kissing Caleb's cheek, then looking at me. Ready to be part of the family? I don't smile. I nod toward the round table near the front where the coordinator sits with a clipboard. Sophie is beside her, jaw set. Tasha is in the back row, phone in hand, because if Diane lies, I want it recorded. Caleb hovers between us, eyes darting like a trapped animal. I take a breath. Before we plan anything, we need to address what happened last weekend, I say. And what happened after? Diane's smile tightens. Maya, this is neither the time nor the place. It's exactly the place, Sophie says. I connect my phone to the small projector, something Diane insisted on 4 vision boards. The first slide is a screenshot of the group chat titled, Caleb's Future, smiling face with hearts, with Diane's message highlighted. Someone should call her landlord. Timestamp visible. Diane's face goes pink. That's private, she snaps. So was my lease, I say. I click to the next. The voicemail transcript Sophie forwarded. I play the audio, Diane's own voice saying, I'll remind her what happens when you disrespect me. Diane stands so fast her chair scrapes. This is a setup, she says. They're ambushing me. Caleb looks sick. Mom, did you do this? Diane's eyes fill with tears instantly, like a switch. I was scared, she whispers. Your girlfriend screamed at me. I was protecting you. I don't raise my voice. I click again. On the screen, an email chain titled Volunteer Concerns, Diane R. The line, asked to step away indefinitely, sits there like a verdict. Sophie steps forward. You didn't step away, she says. You got removed. And you told everyone I was unstable when I didn't cover for you. Diane's tears vanish. Her mouth twists. You were always jealous. She spits at Sophie, then turns on me. And you, little hygienist, think you can lecture me about respect? The room goes silent. Even Caleb stops breathing. I look at him, and he looks back at me, and for once there's no fog in his eyes. Mom, Caleb says, voice shaking but firm, apologize. Right now? Or I'm leaving with Maya. Diane didn't just storm out. She turned to the coordinator and lied again. Diane's lie to the coordinator is immediate and automatic. She's been harassing me, she says loudly, hand on her chest again. She's manipulating my son and forging messages. The coordinator doesn't argue. She just looks at me and asks, quietly, "Can you email what you showed us?" I do it on the spot, screenshots with timestamps, the voicemail file, Sophie's PDF email chain. Clean, boring, undeniable. By the next morning, Diane's Facebook post about health is still up, but the comments are different. Not all of them, but enough. "Diane, is this true? Why would you call her landlord?" Sophie tells me the Northside board emails her. "Thank you for documenting. Diane is not permitted at events." That's the part Diane never expects. Consequences that aren't dramatic, just procedural. Doors quietly closing. Caleb comes to my apartment with red eyes and a paper bag of groceries like he's trying to prove he can be useful. "I told her she can't contact you," he says. "I told her if she does, I'm done." "And what did she say?" I ask. He exhales. "She said she'll wait me out." Like you're a phase. Tasha helps me draft a single, calm message to Diane. "Do not contact my workplace, landlord, or friends. Further contact will be documented." I send it, and then mute her number. I also email my landlord again, attaching the group chat screenshot that mentions calling him. My landlord replies, short and embarrassed, "Understood." No further action. But the fallout still lands. Half of Caleb's relatives stop replying to his texts. One relative tells him he's choosing a stranger over blood. I have one night where I lock my new deadbolt and still feel exposed, like the whole world can see through my walls. Caleb and I sit on my couch and say the hard truth out loud. We're postponing any engagement until he starts therapy and learns how to stop negotiating with manipulation. It isn't romantic. It is necessary. For the first time, Caleb doesn't ask me to apologize for having boundaries. He just holds my hand and says, "I'm sorry you had to be the strong one." 2 days later, Caleb showed me his mother's final message. Caleb holds his phone out to me like it's heavy. Diane's message is 3 bubbles long, and each one feels calculated. "I'm disappointed. I raised you better than this. And Maya, if you truly cared about him, you'd step aside." No apology. No accountability. Just a final attempt to make me the villain in a story she's been writing for years. Caleb's thumbs hover over the keyboard. I wait, not because I want to control him, but because I need to see who he is when the pressure hits. He types, "Mom, you're not welcome at our home. Do not contact Maya's landlord or workplace again. If you want a relationship with me, you will speak respectfully and you will apologize to her and Sophie. I'm starting therapy. I'll reach out when I'm ready." Then he hits send, turns his phone face down, and exhales like he's been underwater. We don't magically become a perfect couple after that. Some days he grieves the mom he wishes he had. Some days I flinch when my phone buzzes, even when it's just a pharmacy reminder. But something changes in me, permanently. I used to think being nice would earn safety. I used to treat disrespect like your problem I could solve with more effort, more patience, more proving. Now I understand this. People who benefit from your silence will call your boundaries cruel. If you're in a relationship where someone's parent is actively undermining you, the real question isn't, "How do I win them over?" It's, "Will my partner protect our unit?" Love without protection turns into slow erosion. My practical takeaway is boring but powerful. Keep things in writing, screenshot everything, and set one clear boundary with a consequence you will actually follow. And if your partner keeps asking you to be the bigger person, ask them why you're the only one growing. A week later, Sophie and I volunteer at Northside together. No photos, no performance, just folding donated coats and laughing when we drop a box. Caleb meets me after work with takeout, and for the first time in months, my apartment feels quiet in a good way. I don't know if she'll change, but I finally did.